We're on a dreary December day with the Lexus 300H, which H stands for hybrid. I'll also be discussing the regular model as well, and kind of the differences, which mostly that's the powertrain. This color, it's kind of, is it purple? Is it maroon? It's called Autumn Shimmer. It's an interesting color for sure. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it, but it is interesting. Let's talk about the exterior of the car quickly a little bit. It's got the LED lights here, and of course this new Lexus styling. It's a very aggressive front, especially when you look at it from an angle like this. Definitely looks like it's aerodynamic, I guess you'd say, in the front there. And it's sporty looking. Again, you probably either love or hate this Lexus design language, so that kind of determines what you think about the car overall. I like the mirrors there, very nice. I also like the rims on this model, and there's metal roof racks up there. It's actually a kind of good looking SUV. The proportions are actually pretty nice for a small SUV as well. Coming around to the back here, also very nice. And there's no actual really exhaust, which is kind of interesting. So that's just kicking from hybrid battery mode, and you just heard the engine kick on there. Not really going to do an exhaust on this one. Let me pull up this back area here. Power lift gate you can get on this guy. Pretty good storage. And then this one has the automatic folding power seats, which is actually nice, so you don't have to hop around. And then one thing I noticed as well is I've seen the subwoofers like placed cleverly down here and over there. Here they placed the subwoofer for the stereo up there in the door, which is kind of interesting. And again, if you fold these seats down, let's do that now, and you were to take out this piece, which is removable, you actually have quite a bit of storage space there. If you need to put like big items. So for a small SUV, I actually am kind of impressed with the storage on this guy. Anyway, let's check out that interior a little bit more. Interior, as with many Lexuses, is one of the things that differentiates this most from other small SUVs. It is extremely nice. You got that mix of wood and metal in there, with that leather look plastic coming up all around here. So that is extremely nice. Same down here, you have what looks like a piece of, leather stripped, and this is actually a soft plastic. That isn't. This is actually plastic here, but that's not apparent. It's got the two-tone kind of interior theme going on. Metal surrounds on the speaker. It is just a really nice place to spend time. Probably the only part I'm not a huge fan of is all this plastic here, but it is nice, decent plastic. So it's not too bad. And again, for this class of SUV, it has one of the nicer interiors out there. Also do like the gauges on this one. They look very nice. And much like most Lexuses, they do have adjustability. So you can go into an eco mode there. There's normal. And then when you change into sport mode, check that out. It actually swaps the gauges around for you. Much like every Prius, it does have a fuel economy mode where when you go in here into info, you can see all sorts of fuel consumption information, which is pretty cool there. You can also see how your energy is going. If you're using the battery, if you're using the hybrid. This does have an EV mode, which is kind of nice and usable at low speed. Another nice feature of the interior down here is there's actually a mirror in there, I guess. Hi guys. I guess it's for, I'm not sure what it's for actually, because there are vanity mirrors up there, just like any other car. It's kind of neat. I think women might appreciate that, so they can do makeup, things like that. And then a very large, also padded console back here. Again, these seats are extremely nice, and they do have the two-tone, and they're actually very comfortable. This is one of the more comfy small SUVs, as we'll talk about in the drive review. Really nice feature as we go through this interior here is obviously there's, the stitched soft material down here. These rivets actually are metal and say Lexus in them. Like little touches like that just kind of blow me away. And then this is soft and padded as well. Lexus does really, really nice jobs on their interior. In the back, same story. plenty of room for a small SUV. I think that's one area where I'm most impressed with this guy. It's pretty comfy back here. Headroom is actually really good as well. And yeah, it's really nice. Again, you get the leather and the wood and chrome surrounds on the speakers. So nice place to spend time as well back here. No panoramic roof. SUVs seem to be hit or miss on whether that's an option. I actually enjoy being a passenger in this vehicle, as we'll discuss in the drive review as well. Kind of cool, when you put your seatbelt on, instead of having to start the car, it pulls the seat forward and the wheel down. And then instead of like on off, it just says power over here, which I know it's because this is the hybrid. I'm not sure if someone can probably tell me in the comments if the non-hybrid model has the power button as well versus an on-off button. So it is on and ready to go. As you can see, EV mode is unavailable because the battery's not charged up enough right now. Again, this area is pretty nice. The Lexus clock is actually nicer than on some other Lexuses. And then the way you open the glove box on this one is also, you just push it in and it folds down. You don't have to pull out anything. There are thoughtful features about this that, you know, make it, you know, more than just a Toyota with a nice interior like this, for example. You just kind of run your finger over it, on and off it goes. Steering wheel, which is really, really nice. It's only heated from here to the end, down to that seam there. This part up here, and if you have to grab it, and this part up here are not heated. I'm gonna turn that on now. It's kind of a cold day. It does have forward collision, you know, warning, parking assist available, blind spot monitoring, and then the lift gate is power. This is how you raise and lower the rear seats, which is just really handy. You know, there's a lot of times where you don't want to go, you know, manually move the seat. Not a necessity, it is an option, but it's kind of cool. So as we go into the drive review, I'm going to very quickly discuss the differences between the hybrid and the regular 300, and then you can get the 300F Sport as well. This one has a 2.5 liter engine to go with the hybrid powertrain, and then of course there's a 2 liter engine which is turbocharged in the 300. Very confusing on the numbers there. Neither have a 3 liter engine. There's only about 40 horsepower difference between the cars, but it makes a big difference in speed. There's like a whole second. Like if you look at the 0 to 60 times, it makes a really, really big difference. So if you know you want something more spirited, something quicker, go ahead and skip the hybrid. Now, but if fuel efficiency is important, you mostly do around town driving anyway. That's where the hybrid becomes a really good value proposition. Now, this hybrid system, hybrids generally make cars better, and that's when I like hybrids. I actually have been impressed with like the new Prius, surprisingly, and a few other hybrid vehicles like the Kia Niro recently. In this one, personally, I think I would probably just go with the 300 in the F Sport variant. It's about the same price as the hybrid as well. Totally see why most folks who get this, who, you know, just use it to haul kids around and kind of go to the grocery store, run errands, things like that, would, you know, like the hybrid version of this. I'd be kind of curious to know how the sales numbers work out as well. So let's put it in gear here. I'm gonna leave it in, we'll leave it in sport mode, just because it really does, if you want to do a lot of passing or spirited driving, it can use that sport mode. The steering right off the bat, it just feels kind of like a rubber bandy, which is funny because I've been very praiseworthy of Toyota and Lexus systems recently. I think this might have a older drivetrain than the current Prius. You can let me know in the comments if I'm right. In sport mode, it does tighten up, but again, it doesn't feel like the wheels are connected to the steering wheel necessarily, which is one area of improvement on this car. I'm sure that's better in the F Sport variant, the steering. I'm in EV mode right now. As you can hear, it's just perfectly quiet. The ride quality is good over large bumps. It's not going to be like every other Lexus, like the bigger ones or the sedans you've driven, but it is on the highway. It's a good cruiser. It's going to be more comfortable than most other non-luxury small SUVs, but again, you do get a little bit of bump through here, more than you'd expect in a Lexus. The regenerative braking on the go, specifically for the hybrid, takes a little getting used to. As you can see there, the transition at the end between regenerative braking and actual real brakes, which happen at the very end, it's kind of weird, and there's kind of like a weird noise and weird pedal feel in there. Just one thing I suspected with Lexus and Toyota, since they are kind of king of the hybrids, as it were, of the original, I guess you'd say, you know, might have had like a little bit better. Very quiet SUV. The seats are actually really comfortable. You can't get the Mark Levinson stereo. You can get an upgraded stereo on here, which is okay. If you listen to a lot of music, you'll miss the fact that this doesn't seem to have an available Mark Levinson stereo, at least when I looked on the website. I didn't see that. So I'm gonna nail it off the line here and see how it does. As for like the speed of this SUV, the turbo version of the regular 300 is actually pretty quick. The 200, like I said, off the line, it's very impressive. It has a nice bite there when the battery combines with those electric motors. However, it does run out of steam after a little bit, and then on the highway it definitely leaves you, you know, kind of wanting more. So drive both. I've actually gotten the tires to spin out a little bit there when gunning it. Let's go ahead and throw it around the corner here. Lots of lean. So again, the F Sport probably tidies that up a little bit. If you're gonna do anything spirited at all, and you can't get the F Sport on the hybrid, which kind of makes sense, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have like the everyday efficiency of the hybrid, but the fun of the F Sport. Fuel economy is really good. I can, you know, break 30 on the highway if I'm just kind of cruising, and it's pretty good around town. I mean, mid-20s if you're kind of being aggressive. So for the would I buy this SUV with my own money question, which I always try to answer in these videos, I wouldn't really actually be in the market for a small SUV. If I was gonna, and I probably will someday get an SUV, it wouldn't be like more the subcompact, it'd be the midsize or the large, because an SUV, part of the reason I would get one would be for the size and amount of stuff you can haul, etc. Among the subcompacts, if you want something sporty, you'd want to go with the F Sport variant of this, or you'd probably want to look at the BMW like X1, X3, and cross shop that. Audi also has a really nice option here with the Q3 now. I would say this is a little nicer inside personally, I think, than the Q3 when I last saw it. So that's one advantage here. The Audi's probably like splits the baby kind of nicely in terms of being between like this and the BMW, if you just kind of want the best all-arounder. But this car is very, very competent. There aren't a whole lot of subcompact luxury SUVs. There is the Mercedes Infiniti version, you know, which has a shared platform. I think the platform and chassis of that car is a little better. Again, think the interior of this just kills that car. Price-wise, this SUV starts under 40, even with the hybrid or F Sport version of the regular 300. But this one, for example, is $51,000. You can option it up 10 grand. Until next time, my speedy racers, drive on.